Welcome to NBA Now by Chat Sports, all things Lakers. I'm Hannah Kulik, aka Laker Han. You can follow me on Twitter at Hannah_Kulik and on Instagram at Hannah Rose Kulik. Okay, so today we have part 3 of our Laker Mailbag Q&A. We asked you guys to send in some questions via Twitter and YouTube, and you guys sent in so many amazing questions, so thank you so much for sending in all of your questions, but there were so many. Wanted to make sure that we could answer all of them, so we had to break this Q&A up into 3 parts. The first part and the second part are going to be linked down below for you guys to watch in case you have not watched them, but we talked all about the draft, free agency, and any trades that the Lakers could make. And today we are going to be answering all the other questions, so let's just get right into it. The first question we have today is from @RyanMSpencer1, and he asks, what are 2 areas that the Lakers need to work on this summer? Okay, so the 2 areas that the Lakers absolutely have to work on this summer are shooting and free throw shooting. Now, obviously, a lot of that just does come down to what players are going to be on our roster. Last year, as we all know, the Lakers really struggled with shooting and free throw shooting in particular. I think they were ranked last, if not ranked last, very, very close to the bottom in free throw shooting percentage, and there's honestly just no excuse for that. So going into this season, the Lakers absolutely have to be able to knock down their free throws, because there were many games last season that we saw we only lost by a few points, and those few points really could have been decided by if the Lakers made their free throws. Now, obviously, this next coming season, there's going to be a lot of new players on our team and hopefully a lot of new shooters. I know there's kind of a lot of questions asking what the Lakers need, but the Lakers absolutely have to get good shooters. And now, if we do have good shooters, a lot of times those shooting players are better at making their free throws. So keep my fingers crossed for that. But obviously, you know, any type of shooting and free throw shooting, 2 things that the Lakers need to work on improving this offseason for next season. And then also, of course, defense. Defense was another thing that really did hurt us. Interior defense is something that we really need to get. But again, that is going to hopefully be addressed when the Lakers go out and get a big center, a guy who would be able to protect the rim more, be a little bit more able to help on the defensive end as well. So I guess that was kind of like 3 things, but shooting and free throw shooting, I'm just going to kind of combine those 2, and then defense. 2 things the Lakers absolutely have to work on improving this offseason for next season, especially if they want to be a championship contending team. This next question is from @JaredBryant, and he asks, what's your dream for summer? For me, it's a long shot, hence the dream. Zoe, Klay, Bron, AD, and JaVale are his starting 5. Okay, so I think my dream for the Lakers is, like most fans, that we are able to somehow sign Anthony Davis and then also sign a top free agent, maybe like Jimmy Butler. He would be a perfect fit for the purple and gold, or Kawhi Leonard, although I don't see how it's going to be possible now that Toronto's obviously, you know, had such an amazing season, and Kawhi Leonard was a huge part of that. But yeah, I mean, I think most fans can agree that we would like to be able to sign AD and then sign a top free agent. But honestly, if we're talking about like my ultimate dream here, and don't get mad at me for saying this, it would be a little risky, but my ultimate dream would be to sign a top free agent this summer and then to be able to sign Anthony Davis in free agency next summer. That way we don't have to give up any of our young assets. I don't know if that's necessarily possible, but yeah, somehow, one way or another, the dream scenario for me is getting a team that consists of LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and then either, like you mentioned, Klay Thompson, Jimmy Butler, or Kawhi Leonard, Kyrie Irving, or another just top free agent that's available this summer. That would be insane. So that's the dream scenario for me. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that something like that happens. Dreams do come true, guys. That's all I'm gonna say. @Randy W. Bishop wants to know who is on the Lakers box of Special K this summer. So I actually saw this question on Twitter, and I was a little confused by it because I didn't know if he meant like who was the Lakers, you know, MVP last season. In that case, I would probably say Kyle Kuzma. But then he clarified that he meant like who should be the Lakers' like main target out of all of the K top free agents that are available. So Kyrie, KD, Kawhi Leonard, and Klay Thompson. So if I could pick out of any of those guys, just the Ks, which is kind of interesting, but if I could pick out of any of those guys, I mean, obviously I think Kawhi Leonard would be my top pick. I don't think it's going to be possible, unfortunately, that he's going to be leaving Toronto. But, I mean, obviously Kawhi Leonard, we saw him really establish himself, not only this season, but in these playoffs as one of the best players in the NBA. And everyone always knew that Kawhi Leonard was a very top player. He was a very talented player, but honestly, he just took his game to a whole other level, and he just established himself as one of the best players in the NBA. So Kawhi Leonard would be my #1 pick out of probably just all of the free agents in general. Obviously with Kevin Durant with this Achilles injury now, things are kind of all up in the air. There's a lot of question marks regarding that. But then I think next on my list would be Klay Thompson. Again, I don't think he's going to be leaving Golden State, but he would be the perfect addition for the Lakers. He's just a great spot-up three-point shooter. Not too great at, creating his own shot, but he wouldn't really need to with the team that features, LeBron James and then Lonzo Ball, or whether or not we have Lonzo Ball, we'll have hopefully another talented point guard. So he would be honestly the perfect fit because we need just sharp shooters, some three-point shooting, some wing defenders. So Kawhi and then Klay would be my top 2 on my special K box of free agents that start with a K that the Lakers should go after. But I'm curious, who would you rather have on the Lakers? Kawhi Leonard or Klay Thompson? If you'd rather have Kawhi, type Kawhi down below. If you'd rather have Klay Thompson, type Klay down below. Now, I want to take a quick second to remind you guys to make sure that you are subscribed to Chat Sports here on YouTube, and to also subscribe to the new Chat Sports Lakers YouTube channel as well. It's going to be an extremely exciting offseason. We're just getting started, and really anything can happen at any second. So make sure you are subscribed down below so that you don't miss a single second of it. But let's move on to some more of these questions. This next question here is from Dwayne Wade on YouTube, and he asks, is it possible that the Lakers can get Kyrie and AD both and make a super team? Yes, I mean, that's definitely possible. That's obviously the Lakers' main goal, is to go sign a top free agent. Kyrie definitely being one of them. He is still a possibility, although there are a lot of rumors that he's going to be now going to the Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie coming to the Lakers is there's still a little bit of a chance. And then obviously teaming up with Anthony Davis. The Lakers are desperately trying to make a trade with the Pelicans for AD, as we all know, before draft day, because I've actually talked about this in the last 2 Q&As as well. But if the Pelicans are going to trade Anthony Davis, which they are, let's be honest, they are, they're going to want to do so pretty darn soon before the draft, which is June 20th, so that they have enough time to really be able to work out these young guys, because any trade that they are, receive is going to include some high draft picks. Obviously, the Lakers have the number 4th pick, so if they are going to make the trade, they're going to want to do it pretty soon so that they're able to have enough time to work out these young guys and make sure that they are making the best selection for their team. So obviously, this is the Lakers' plan, to sign a top free agent like Kyrie and then be able to trade for Anthony Davis. Whether or not it's going to play out, it's yet to be remain seen, but at the end of the day, keep my fingers crossed, and it's definitely possible. Next question from King Master. He asks, who do I think will fit well on the Lakers? So in terms of free agents, the top free agents, I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, what the Lakers really need are shooting guards and a stretch 5 center. I think those are the 2 biggest, check marks that the Lakers have to be able to cross off their list in terms of players that they sign. Another one is a backup point guard, or whether or not, depending on what happens with Lonzo Ball, a starting point guard. But whether or not we need shooters, we need scorers. In terms of the top free agents right now, obviously I would be thrilled to have any of them. I think if you're looking at the Lakers and you're looking at the Lakers team, the best fit for the team, if you're talking about the positions that I just talked about, like shooting guard and center, I think Jimmy Butler is a great fit. He's a shooting guard, he's a great scorer, also a great wing defender, which is another position that the Lakers desperately need help with as well. We need all the defensive help we can obviously get, so scoring and defense are our 2 biggest things that we need to work on improving this season. Klay Thompson would also be an amazing fit, but I don't think he's going to be leaving Golden State, like I've said. But he's another guard, a high-scoring guard, a knockdown 3-point shooter, so he would be a great fit. But at the end of the day, I would love to have Kawhi Leonard, especially, Kawhi would obviously be a great fit. If we could go get Kawhi Leonard, you go get him, but he is a small forward, so if we don't trade for Anthony Davis and we do keep Kyle Kuzma and Brandon Ingram, and then obviously we have LeBron James. That small forward position is already a little jammed, so we would have to kind of move things around. But obviously, if it's Kawhi Leonard, you move things around, you don't even think twice about it. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I would be happy with any of those top free agents, but the two biggest things that the Lakers need to really have, and any player that's going to fit well on the Lakers is going to have to be a good shooter and a good scorer, and then also a good defender. And then this next question also looks like is from King Master as well. He asks, have you ever been or considered being a Laker girl or a cheerleader? No, definitely not at all. I have zero coordination at all. Can't even do a cartwheel, can't even do a somersault, cannot climb, cannot run, cannot jump, none of that stuff. I could only lift weights. That's the only thing I'm good at. Also, what do you think we should do with our 4th pick? I think that, and I talked about this in the previous Q&As, but I think that the Lakers should trade their 4th pick. If not for Anthony Davis, if to go out and get another talented shooter like Bradley Beal, maybe even CJ McCollum. My take on this is just that, yes, having the 4th pick is, you know, obviously you can get a talented young player, but, you know, the last 5-6 years we've had these high draft picks, we've drafted these young players, we've been in this rebuilding phase, and now moving forward I think the Lakers are in this win now phase. And you know, you're not going to be able to really have a top player, a young guy, come in here and really be able to make a huge contribution right off the bat. It takes a few years for them to develop. Really by like their 3rd year they start to kind of come into their own a little bit, and I don't think right now the Lakers are in the position to develop another player. However, if we do end up keeping the pick, then I'm also fine with that as well, because like I said, you know, we can get a talented young player, and I do like watching these young players develop and turn into stars. But at the end of the day, I think if it was up to me, I would prefer to trade the pick. Alright, Laker fans, so before we get into some more of these questions, I want to take a quick second to remind you guys to make sure that you are following me both on Twitter and Instagram. Like I've been saying, this summer is going to be absolutely crazy for us Laker fans. So whether or not you just want to keep up with all things Lakers this summer, or if you are also looking to get in shape this summer, I also love to post workout videos and fitness tips on my Instagram as well. So make sure you are following me on Twitter at Hannah_Kulik and on Instagram at Hannah Rose Kulik. This next question though is a very good one, and it's from Donald Pickett on YouTube, and he asks, he says, pretty knowledgeable on your Laker info. Thank you very much. I appreciate that compliment. If you were the general manager, what moves do you make this offseason? So I'm the general manager, and I actually did another video on Chat Sports. It was a couple of videos ago, but I kind of addressed some of the things the Lakers need to work on improving this offseason. So if I am the general manager of the Lakers, I am saying, listen, we have to go out, we have to get a shooting guard or a high-scoring guard just in general, because in this modern NBA, your guards, you have to be able to have one guard that is able to score at least 20 or more points per game. And whether or not whatever happens with Lonzo Ball, if we keep Lonzo Ball, for the sake of right now, I'm just going to say we're keeping Lonzo, that's never going to be him. That's never been Lonzo's strong suit. It's never been his game. So we are going to have to pair him with a high-scoring shooting guard. We have to get shooters everywhere, honestly. I mean, like I've been saying, one of the Lakers' biggest problems, biggest weaknesses last season was their shooting, and their lack of just having effective three-point shooters and consistent shooters. Another thing that Lakers also really have to work on, or if I'm the general manager, I'm saying I have to go out and get, is a stretch 5 center. So a center that is not only going to be able to protect the rim, get defensive rebounds, get stops, who's also going to be able to go out and help us out on defense, but a guy who's also going to be able to stretch the floor and knock down threes as well. Because in this modern NBA, you know, not only does the guard have to score 20 plus points, but now this new center position is more of a guy who can be able to stretch back and knock down those 3-point shots. So I'm looking to get a high-scoring shooting guard, shooters just everywhere in general, stretch 5 center, and then I am also looking to establish a nice solid bench, because that has also been one of the Lakers' biggest weaknesses these last few years, are having these guys come off the bench who just are not good. We've been relying on, you know, G League players to really do it. And if you're going to be a successful team, a championship contending team, you have to have a consistent, reliable bench that, You know, when the starters go on the bench, these guys are going to be able to come off and really be able to help the team and keep the game competitive, knock down their shots, and just play their role, you know, efficiently. And that's been one of the Lakers' biggest weaknesses. So if I'm the general manager, I'm saying go out, get shooting guards, shooters everywhere, get a stretch 5 center, which also just kind of ties in with the shooting, and then I am developing a solid, reliable bench. Okay, this next question is pretty funny. It's from Robert R. He asks, is LeBron James going to the Warriors? Definitely not. You guys, I know there are like some crazy media stories out there that are saying LeBron James, you know, demanding a trade, not happy in LA, but those are just like completely false, completely fabricated. LeBron James likes being a Laker. He likes playing for LA. So LeBron is not going anywhere anytime soon, guys. He's probably honestly just going to retire as a Laker. So anyone else that says anything, any other media story that you read is just completely fake. But I am curious, do you guys think LeBron is going to end up being a Warrior? If you do, type Y down below. If not, type N down below. Let's move on to our last question we have of this 3-part Lakers mailbag Q&A. The final question today we have is from Robert Navarro on YouTube, and he asked, after the Nets trade, what do you think this means for the Lakers? Does it raise urgency to clear more cap if we are to land Kyrie? So this is a good question, actually. So I actually think that this helps the Lakers in getting Anthony Davis, because the Nets were obviously one of our, you know, competitions. But after they made the trade with the Atlanta Hawks that sent Allen Crabbe, which is pretty much just a salary dump, and then their top draft picks to the Atlanta Hawks, they are kind of out of the running now. They are putting all of their chips in this Kyrie Irving basket. Whether or not Kyrie ends up going and playing for the Brooklyn Nets is still, you know, yet to be determined. It would pretty much suck for the Brooklyn Nets if they did all of this and then Kyrie doesn't go to them in free agency. But I think that this actually just helps the Lakers in their pursuit for Anthony Davis, because it knocks off one other team that was one of our competitors. In terms of the whole cap space situation, does it make more pressure for us to try to clear him for cap space? I don't necessarily think so, because, you know, at the end of the day, I think the Lakers' overarching plan is to try to sign Anthony Davis and then get a top free agent. So that would just give them enough room. They have enough room to do that. They don't have enough room, I guess, to sign 2 top free agents, but I don't think that's really their plan, because we already have LeBron James. It really is just to sign AD and then get another top free agent, which we totally can do, thank goodness. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But I think that actually the Brooklyn Nets trade, I'm pretty happy about it, because even if it does kind of lessen our odds of getting Kyrie, I think it strengthens our odds to getting Anthony Davis, which is obviously a pretty exciting possibility for us Laker fans. But that is going to be it for today's Q&A. Thank you guys so much for sending in your questions. Again, you guys sent in so many amazing questions, so many that we had to do 3 parts to this Q&A. So that is amazing. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to give it a double thumbs up here. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Chat Sports here on YouTube and the new Chat Sports Lakers YouTube channel. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And that is going to be it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, Laker Han is out. Bye, guys.